Well, good morning, family, or good afternoon. I'm not a morning person anymore now that I'm retired. I tend to go to bed late and get up late and enjoy my life, slow and easy. But today we're going to finish some gardening tasks. The last video, sorry for saying a lot, I don't practice this stuff. The last video up our garden beds with compost, so that one is halfway filled. I'm going to get a load of topsoil to put on that as well. That one we need to mix with some topsoil and some compost. It's a lot of clay in that, very dried out. This one, which was my flower bed, I had put a lot of good soil, potting soil in that, in compost, so we put another load of compost over it. And I think it's deep enough. So we're going to do some gardening today. I know it's too early for East Tennessee to plant outdoors. I get it. But onions and carrot root vegetables I can do. So onions, carrots, and potatoes I can do. And I have an idea, and today, it's about trying things and see how they work. I went to the dollar store, and I got these cake pans with the lids. And for $1.25, I think, $1.50. Nothing's $1 anymore at the dollar store. If you know, you know. And we are gonna plant some seeds in that, and because it is nice and warm during the day, it'll be like a greenhouse event. Being able to just put them anywhere in one of these and just have them sitting there with the seeds, absorbing all that sunlight, that heat from the sun, the goodness from the sun. But it is going to get colder, so one of the things I like about these is that I can also put them in the bathhouse or the pump house at night if it should get, below freezing, which I think there's going to be one night, I think Friday night, we're going to get below freezing. Also, I'm going to get a clear tarp to put over the onions and carrots and stuff and also if we plant this spinach, I think it's spinach, cabbage, and lettuce or something. Broccoli. Spinach, cabbage, and broccoli that Walter had bought. I'm going to go ahead and plant that in between the rows of carrots and onions, because they grow up and the onions and carrots grow down, so they won't hinder each other. And I will put a clear tarp over that bed. So again, it'll be like a greenhouse effect. Cold doesn't necessarily kill these plants. Frost does. So if I can keep the frost off of them, it should be okay. So we are experimenting. We are trying new things. We're just seeing what can do. Florida was too freaking hot. It was just too hot. And I got to tell you, we tried to garden when we first moved in our house. In Fort Lauderdale, we had a beautiful backyard. I wanted to garden. I wanted to grow something. That's the Summerlin, my dad, my grandmother, they were always green thumbing stuff and growing things. And my sister does, and I love it. And we were going to grow, we actually did grow a huge cucumber. And we were growing other things, I think watermelon. The lizards eat them. Lizards ate everything, ate every leaf off my plants. You can't keep lizards out of anything. They tunnel. There's little ones, big ones. There's so many different kinds. So we didn't even try any further than that with gardening in Florida. Plus it was so hot. It was just, ridiculous. So here it's beautiful weather today. Let me show you. Sunny skies, little light clouds. It's probably going to be in the 60s. I'm in, just a pair of leggings, my gardening shoes, and a t-shirt. So it's nice and warm. It's beautiful to me. It might even, in the sunshine, might be even in the 70s. But it's just a beautiful day on the mountainside. Look at that. I wish you guys were here with me. And you could hang out on the front porch. I have a chair. You like that little contraption Walter built for us to put our shoes in, our work shoes? That's where my garden shoes go, and my mud boots and his mud boots, so we don't track in the house. Oh, look who came to visit. I'm tired of chasing him around, so I just said, you know what? I'm going to let him go explore a little bit. He knows where home is. I think he heard me talking, and that's why he wanted to come see what I was doing. Say hi, Chaos. 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 Say hello. Say hello to everyone. No telling what he's been in. What'd you eat? All right, I got to check out the dog because he gets into everything. All right, I'm going to put you on whenever I start planting. Give you some pictures of it. I don't know how much I'll get on film, but I'll show you the after effects too. All right, have a wonderful day. Okay, I forgot to show you what I was going to be planting. I'm going to do the seeds. So let me show you. My vegetable seeds is peas, carrots. And carrots I got a direct sow. I can't sow it in the pans and then put it later. They say direct sow. So I'm going to make sure it's covered by the tarp. They're also very tiny, so I'm going to try to see. Someone said put it on damp toilet paper, and that way you can see the seeds and line them up, and then as they grow it's going to melt away. So I'm going to do that because the seeds are so tiny in carrots. I don't even know where they are. And I'm going to plant some mustard greens because mustard greens are cold tolerant, just like the broccoli and stuff. So they're frost tolerant. So I'm going to plant those. Here are my onions. I have a yellow onion, which I use a lot. It's a mild onion, sweet, and I use that in most of my cooking. So I'm going to have that. And then I got a white onion. Sorry about the shade. Let me see if you can see it better there. A white onion, which I don't use as often, but because it's a little bit more spicy, but it's still good, and I do use it. It tastes really good in, like, potato salad and stuff, has more of a bite to it. So, yellow onions. I'm probably not going to use all of those. We'll see. But if I don't, I like to share with my neighbor. Now, for the flowers, I'm going to start the flowers in the pans, and I picked ones that need cold stratification. So I thought, if they're telling me to put it in the refrigerator, why in the heck don't I just put it outside, right? So snapdragons. Now one says put in the refrigerator overnight to help the seeds germinate. The other doesn't. So I figured they're probably the same. Just one's a better quality that tells you better instructions. And so I'm going to do them both. I'm going to do some chives. Chives are also frost tolerant, and I like them on potatoes and salads and stuff. I'm going to put some lettuce out, romaine lettuce we eat. I like having lettuce out, and it's very frost tolerant. Our lettuce stayed for a long time. Lavender. They say put the lavender. I got 2 different kinds. I don't know what's better. I haven't tried it. I'm not like a seed aficionado, whatever they call them. Listen, this is not a master class. This is just, we're going to try it and see what happens class. So, English lavender. One's heirloom. One does not say heirloom. I thought these were. But anyway, they say put in the refrigerator for 5 days, for a week, before you plant them to help germination. So why do I put them in the refrigerator when I can just leave them out here for 5 days? So, and then I have dahlias. And I'm not going to plant too many of these because I don't want to use them all up in case it doesn't work. They didn't have any instructions on them, and it's probably not a good time of year to plant them, but I'm going to try a couple, see how they do in the greenhouse thing, and then save the rest of them for whenever it's warmer. In East Tennessee, the last frost date is usually early May. They usually say around Mother's Day you can then safely plant. So, but their weather is so bipolar. It really is. Like, it's nice and warm today. Today is Wednesday. By Friday, it's going to be 25 at night. So it's hot, hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. So and the cold isn't cold, and it's not cold for very long. Like Friday is the only day that it's dipping below freezing. The rest of the time it's going to be, in the high 30s, 40s, and the daytime will be 50s, 60s. So I think for these frost tolerant vegetables and flowers, and especially in a greenhouse or with a tarp, I think they're gonna be okay. But again, we're just experimenting. We're seeing what's happening. So, okay, I just wanted to share that with you. I'm excited to get something in the ground. I'm excited to get something started, We don't have room to grow things inside. We just don't. So I'm having to be creative in my gardening. That sounds great. All right. You hear that dog? I heard a dog. Huh? All right, onion first, right? Okay, so I planted 2 rows of yellow onions, which only equaled about half a bag. This bag costs about $4, and I'm probably gonna get about 30 onions out of it. And if I planted the rest of those, I'd get probably 50, 60 onions out of the harvest for $4. I'm probably gonna offer these to my neighbor and see if he wants them to plant his. So now, being as I am an older person gardening, and I hate bending over, hurts my back, I am going to look at my garden for a minute while I sit down and relax. And I got to get the potting soil out of the shed, but I'll do that next round. So we have white onions to plant in there, and you notice I only planted 3/4 up. And we have carrots. I'm only going to plant like 1 or 2 rows of carrots because we're not big carrot eaters. And then that little quarter of the bed I'm going to leave for potatoes. And I think I'm going to plant potatoes in our old potato one too. Again, they did really well. I'll see you in a minute after I rest up. Okay. Yes. It's time to do the white onions. They're already out there. Ready? Come on. Another row down, 2 rows. White potatoes. And we have another half bag. And just to let you know a little bit about how to plant these, I think they should be about, I put them about 6 inches apart. White potatoes grow bigger than the yellow ones, but they both need room to spread. So I put all of them about 6 inches apart all the way around. So 6 inches this way and probably a little bit more. So the width apart and the length apart, 6 inches all the way around. So that gives each one of them plenty of room to grow and to become a big bulb. Now with these, I'm gonna, anything you plant, after you plant it, you gotta water it in good. Walter's got all of our hoses rearranged from the winter time. I'm not real sure what I can use and what I can't, but he'll be home in a couple hours and then I will be able to water them in. If for some reason I can't that way, I'll just water them in through a bucket. I have a spray bottle to water in the trays, so that'll be done. I did water the broccoli, cabbage, and spinach last night, so I'm not real worried about that, but I'll be, whenever I put them in there, I'll water them in too. And I was thinking, rethinking the situation with the carrots, because cabbage needs room to grow. And there's a good 2 feet in between, well, maybe a foot, in between the yellow onions on this side and the white onions on this side. There's a good space in between. So I might put the broccoli down the middle and the spinach, and then in this in part put the cabbage, because they're going to be big. So they grow big, so it needs lots of room to spread. And then I'll just have to rethink the potatoes for other beds, and I might do that another day. So again, you just, as you're going, things change. You start realizing what needs room, what doesn't need room, and what you have to do different. So we will continue to do this. And now, as an old lady, now know what time it is. Rest, drink water, hydrate, and I'm listening to some Temptations on my sound box. So I'll see y'all in a minute. Alright, so now we're gonna do, I think, the cabbage and stuff. What do you think, Cass? Want to bring them with us? Give you a different perspective. Let's see how it works. Different perspective, huh? Look how beautiful these are. All right, I'll see you in a minute when I set you up. You've been going, huh? Let's see. So we do it like this. Looks like lettuce. It doesn't look like broccoli. But who am I? I don't know what's what anymore. But I think he bought lettuce. So let's go ahead and plant it. See what comes up. Yeah, it's romaine. See? That doesn't have to be as far apart. Oh my goodness, my legs are going to be killing me. Good exercise, huh? A couple of lettuce look beat up, but they're not too bad. They'll come back. Okay. And now, the cabbage. I don't think Walt realized how big these grow. He brought 12 because we do like cabbage. Oh, this is broccoli. I don't know what the heck you bought. You bought spinach, lettuce, and broccoli. No cabbage. What? Okay, so broccoli does also spread out a bit. So plant those about 6 to 8 inches apart. I think we'll do four rows of 4, or 3 rows of 4, or whatever we end up needing. Yeah. Count one working, I guess. Look what was in here last year. Can't even pronounce it. Okay. I need some of this dirt over here. Oh, I think the back of my leg's gonna need a rest after this. So, we're at the end of the road here. This is cabbage. So, I think I'm going to plant 2 of them over here. And then maybe a couple over there somewhere. Because they grow quite large. And there's not much room left on the bed. So Walter hasn't gotten home yet, and I need to water these in, so we're doing it the old watering can. This is like a 3-gallon one. Probably gonna take me a couple trips, but we'll get it done. And water's heavy. Okay. So put 3 cabbages here. Get my workout in today. Six broccoli. So I got them watered in, and there's 3 cabbages over there. 2 trips with the watering can, so that's pretty good. I got to get a clear tarp which I'll probably get from Lowe's tomorrow. So tonight, I'm a little worried about the lettuce. Everything's been sitting outside for a couple days, so I don't think it's really going to get that cold tonight, tomorrow night, Friday night especially. But I think they're going to be okay for tonight. So happy gardening, guys. That's all I got done. It's 4:30. I got to start cooking dinner. We'll do the seeds either tomorrow or the next day. Slow living, right? Retired living. I don't have to get everything done in one day. I can take my time, do a little bit at a time, and see what happens. So thanks for spending time with me today. Thanks for hanging out and helping me plant the garden. Kept me motivated, kept me going. And I got to edit the videos while I was taking my breaks. So that's pretty cool too. Namaste. Have a wonderful day. And Chaos. Say bye to everyone. Chaos. Chaos. Say goodbye. He's like wondering where Daddy is, because this is when he takes his walk to the mailbox with Daddy. And then after that he gets fed. So he's like, where the heck is everybody? Peace out.